Hey there, Nemo Ashong here, and founder of Empjoyment. And I want to just let you know a little bit about the Empjoyment podcast and where we're taking things now. You see, I started the podcast with an intent of helping career changers with non-technical backgrounds get jobs in tech communities. However, we decided that was too narrow of a focus there because the impact that we were making was happening at a deeper level, and the problems that we were taking on were happening far, far deeper than that. What came up for me through this experience is a lot of people don't know what they're passionate about. A lot of people don't know what they want out of their life and work. A lot of people don't know their strengths, don't know their gifts. And probably the thing that gets me the most is that they're not even aware that they have it. And so what I decided to do is shift things and take the Empjoyment podcast in a direction of possibility, inclusion, and authenticity. And with that there, we invite different guests who've gone out, and these guests each inspire me. That's my number one criteria here. I'm going to invite people who inspire me to come and be on this show and to share their experiences. There's a bit of getting to understand their story and their journey, what brought them along the way, to understand how they looked at possibility, inclusion, and authenticity throughout their experiences, and understand what the lessons learned that they had, the struggles that they went through, and how they overcame them regardless. It's also an opportunity, sometimes you'll hear me coach them. It just depends on how the conversation naturally evolves, because I believe that in every instance of experiencing Nemo, people should be able to move forward. And I want to make sure that we don't just have instruction and information, but we are sharing experiences and we're applying that knowledge. So what you'll find here is that when I say, I think you'll be kind of tickled around, yeah, I said tickled, I think that's the right word. I think you'll be tickled around some of the people that we bring onto this podcast and into our world. And the thing here is around the term, only people who inspire me. And what came up for me, I'll be honest, I'll share something with you. I talked to my coach, and my coach came out and he said, you know what, as you're building your business, as you're making your impact, reach out to one person who inspires you every day. And I was gung-ho. I was like, yes, let's do this. I'm going to reach out. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be inspired. We're going to get to know each other. And I'm powerful and awesome. And it's going to be just all these great things that come up from it. By day 3, I didn't have anyone else to reach out to. And that crushed me. That made me look at it and say, what am I doing? How is it that I'm not inspired by others? How is it that I don't have a list of 100 names, 1,000 names is what really came up to my mind. How do I not have, this should be the easiest thing ever for me, because I see people and I'm just so interested in them. I get into a room and I'm able to help see wow, this is what makes you awesome. And I'm so happy that you get a chance to bring that. That's one of my greatest strengths out there. And yet when I was asked to think of just someone I could reach out to every day, I ran out after day 3. And I'm very fortunate because I immerse myself in things. So I got more coaching, talked to a lot of other people about this year. And what emerged for me here is that I had the process backwards. You see, I was looking for people who were currently inspiring me there, maybe because they had done big things in the world, or they were taking on some of the topics that really interest me, including the future of work, the future of education, the future of healthcare, diversity and inclusion. I think maybe in my mind, I was just well, who are the people that are leading this? I need to reach out to them. But what came up through this immersion here and really allowing myself to explore this is that I actually could be inspired by any individual. That's part of what makes me, I have a smile on my face almost all the time. Because when I talk to people, I get to discover new things about them. And that inspires me. And I get to change the way that I look at the world. My perspective changes. And that's inspiring to me. And so I say you'll be tickled here because we might have some guests on here that you would never expect. I might even just talk to my next door neighbor if I'm inspired. But we're always going to do this with the aspect here of bringing together pioneers. I want to share the pioneer stories to make sure that people who are out there that are leading in their world. I don't need you to be a CEO of a company to be on this show. I want to just have individuals like yourself get featured and share how they are creating positive change in their world. how they are pursuing possibilities worth creating, and what their struggles are and how they're getting over that. Because at the end of the day, this also serves as an opportunity for me to understand more about how I can serve you and other pioneers through the things that we offer here at Empjoyment. This is something that I'm incredibly passionate about, and I want to invite you to come be a part of this here. If you would like to be featured on the Empjoyment podcast, reach out. You don't need to be famous. You don't need to have a product to sell. You can just be someone that has really pursued possibilities and feels passionate about sharing your story and journey to help other people. Just go ahead, send me an email at nemo@empjoyment.com, and we'll make something come to life from there. I honestly just want to make sure I'm consistently focusing on you pioneers and what you need. Sometimes I'll have themes. Sometimes it'll be 10-minute conversations. Sometimes it might just be me alone. Other times it might be like a 2-hour conversation because it was just that good, like, I'm not here to say like this is a 30-minute podcast and if we don't you have to have all your insights in this time. No, I'm here to serve you and really serve the people that I'm talking to. So just be ready for some fun times, be ready for some amazing times. And I thank you for considering the podcast, considering being on the podcast, and considering sharing the podcast with others that you know. I will say every episode that we've had up until this point, regardless of the focus of this podcast, has been some of the most insightful information that I have. I like to say we talk about things that are simply not Googleable. We get into it, we get deep. And we use that to help our pioneers become more powerful and show up more as themselves each and every day. Are you ready to play that game? I'll see you at the Empjoyment podcast. And I'll also see you over at empjoyment.com. We're doing workshops, we're having our communities, we're getting our pioneers together, and we're taking action. And if you're interested in moving into action and being around a community of people who understand you, who see you as you are, and hold you accountable to that, I'm not gonna lie, that's scary. It's not for everyone. But if that's something that you're interested in, and to being seen and to be able to go to someone and say, hey, I have a question that's on my mind, and everyone else that I ask just doesn't get it, and like, how could they? Because they haven't taken the time to see it from my perspective, or they're not seeing it, they don't understand me to that level, or they haven't had experiences that are similar, even though they're completely different. If that's you and you're interested in being around some people around that, then great. We have the Empjoyment Pioneer community, and I'd like to invite you to be a part of that. I'll talk to you there shortly. Take care.